Hey, this is day 24 of the 100-day monk mode challenge, and today we're going to talk about benefits of the monk mode. What am I getting from refusing to go out, to drink alcohol, eat sugar and stuff, and why you should actually try that as an entrepreneur, how it helps the business itself. And another thing is going to be some personal insights. So, I'm gonna find the insight. It's hard to find that among the lists. Monk mode keeps your brains turned on, and your day gets longer. You have more tasks completed, more emotions lived, more people interacted with, more calls, and your life feels more rich and full. It's true, when you are not disrupting and feeding your brain with the fast dopamine all the time, it finds beauty in simpler things. There are bugs creating weird sounds around me, and I enjoy that. Or I'm sitting barefoot on the green grass when it's still warm. It's like the last days of summer, and it's so nice. Or that sounds stupid, but a lot of things make you happier and life gets easier. Not that you're not stressed about anything. I was happy for the fact that it's the second year when it's time for all the kids in the country to go to school, to university, and that's gonna be the second year when I'm not studying anywhere. Like, I don't have to do the homework anymore, so I was happy about that. And I at this time of the year, I used to feel stressed and at the same time inspired to learn a lot. To I love studying, I guess, honestly. Now I realize that I didn't before, and now I still have the inspiration, but I do not have any stress inside of me. I'm doing my work, we're going steady, slowly, and we're figuring things out, and that's the best. I'm not in a hurry to. When you do the 100-day monk mode challenge, the beauty is to slow down. Not in terms of your progress, work, or goals, but really physically. You would not travel, most likely, because it's hard to travel with a schedule like mine. And you would not be in a hurry to go on a train and a plane to get anywhere. You are steady being in one place, and it's calming you down because you're not thinking, oh, in a couple of days I have to go there, I have to pack my bags, I have to prepare for something. No, you're just living, creating the routine of living at the same place, and you're noticing new things about this place every day. I had a kid over, and we were watching the stars, and now I went yesterday for a run really late, and I would watch the stars, and I'm like, do I have nothing else to do? Just because I cannot watch films. I actually, since recently, I confessed in a previous video that I watched 2 films, but I have nothing to do. Like, I don't have to watch a film, I don't have to go out party with anybody, and I'm like, I did a sport today, I recorded the video, and I can just watch the stars. It makes you much more fulfilled with the tiny things, and it gives you less stress about work, despite the fact that the weird sun, despite the fact that I'm still stressed about work. Now, meditation that I'm practicing 10 minutes in a day, in the morning, I get used to that. I now cannot start my day without it. Because when you're starting your day, there are times when you're excited about the day. But most likely you're not. If you're working like me, I would set the deadlines almost on a daily basis, and on a daily basis I have to do stuff, to deliver stuff, and it's stressful. And you don't want to just wake up. When you're waking up at 4, you feel good because you have the time before the deadline, but you feel so exhausted. When you're waking up late, you feel so bad and you don't even want to wake up because, oh my god, I'm gonna miss the deadline. I'm gonna have to postpone that for another day, and you're feeling so exhausted. Now, I was saying, when you have the meditation in the morning, you have the time to get yourself back in the track, to understand that your problems are not that big. What's going on with my hair? Your problems actually are small, and they are cute, and you can handle them, and there's nothing to stress about. It's good that you have problems like this, personally me. So I've just been telling you a bunch of bullshit, I guess, just yet, about monk mode. You don't have a time to waste, energy to waste. So monk mode gives you the space in your brains, keeps them thinking. So what's happening, what I notice happening with my brains when I'm not in the monk mode and I'm consuming a lot of stuff and like going around from place to place. So I would start working and I would turn on a series of film just to listen to, and my brains would turn off. Literally, I'm sorry for the sound in the back. My brains would just shut down, and they would not think. But then, in like 3 hours, when I'm done with the task, I'm done with the work, I would step away from the computer, and all these thoughts that were paused now would just really hit my brain, my head with like a huge wave, and I'm gonna feel so bad and anxious, and I just don't know. I don't know where should I be running. When you're in the monk mode, you always have this process of thinking going, and it's slower, and you're not that panicky as a person. So if you are anxious, stressed person, that helps. But essentially, if I'm honest, monk mode is not the secret code for your work success. Right? You do not have to exclude the dopamine. You do not have to exclude the alcohol. You don't have to do sport to be successful. You just have to do the one thing that is called work. So if you have problems in your business and it's not bringing in sales, you should be doing sales and lead generation. That's all you should be doing. But eliminate the rest. So if we view monk mode from the lens of eliminating what's happening with my voice. If we view the monk mode from the lens of eliminating the rest of the processes, yes, it works. Now to the insights. Insight number 1. The discipline, the respect, the grind, and motivation, the result from the conversation come from within, so take responsibility. The responsibility is heavy. You can't lift it all at once, but you have to train the muscles. I was listening just yesterday, really interesting, like a story before bed. So that was a story on how humanity comes from freedom to tyranny, and that was from the Bible, and that was about Egyptians and their 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine, or I don't know how that was called exactly in terminology, but the idea, if you know this story, the story was like the Egyptians governor got the info from one of the guys that they're gonna have 7 years of plenty in terms of crops, in terms of food, right, in terms of all the resources, and then they're gonna have 7 years of famine where they would be just dry. Nobody's gonna have any food to eat, nothing gonna grow on the ground, on the soil, and that's the problem. Now, what they did in first 7 years as the government, they prepared, they saved the like corn and stuff, and then in the 7 years of famine, they would not just feed the people, right, but they would in the first year get all people's money in exchange for food. In the second year they would get all people's stock in exchange for food, and on the third year people offered being slaves and get given away their lands and themselves and working on them in exchange for food. That was like, there are much more details to that, but the lesson in terms of thinking and responsibility in life, and like the morale that I took away was taking the responsibility is the most important thing you can do in life. And that's what leaders do in business. Like that's what CEOs do in business. That's what all people who are problem solvers that they do. And that's the most important thing and key for freedom, I guess. And why? When everybody heard this story, they're gonna have 7 years of planning and 7 years of timing. And that was not a secret. Nobody held that a secret. So the government took the responsibility on themselves, but people, separate person, would not take that responsibility. They hoped that somebody, like the government, would feed them, that somebody is going to solve the problem, that something's going to happen. So they wouldn't save the food and nothing. And that's essentially what happens when you take away the responsibility. You lose the freedom. And this is what is happening in business. When leaders do not take the responsibility for the problems and are not solving them, they are losing their business, they are losing the freedom, or they are being replaced. Or as a worker, if you're not doing that, you're being replaced. If you're providing the services, like if you have any business interaction, you are trying to sign a partnership deal and you are not taking the responsibility for how the conversation goes, for the preparation for that conversation and deal making, right? You're not making the research, you're not reading enough paper of the contract that you're signing, you're not taking the responsibility, you're not taking on the burden, then what are you there for? You're taking away your freedom, because you can be tricked and you can now be subject to the opponent that you have, right? If you're not reading the contract, people might take away your freedom if you sign whatever stuff that you're given just because you're lazy to read that. And this seems to be like a small thing, but I notice really often that a lot of things in business interactions come from you yourself. And the insight, we're getting back to the insight right now. The discipline, the respect, the grind, the motivation, the result from the conversation come from within, so take the responsibility. The discipline, if you want your team to be disciplined, it all comes from your example. If you are disciplined, if you are submitting tasks on time, if you explaining tasks in a timely order, if you are breaking them down in details, if you have systems in place, if you have video manuals in place, then team is going to function well because they have the clarity, they have the discipline from you, and you are setting the example. If you want to get respect from other people, respect them. Like that's obvious. If you want to see people in your team grinding or being motivated or like really leveling up their life, you should either teach them how to do that or show with your own example, which is the best way of teaching. And this is all is called taking responsibility, taking up like new task, being more serious with your life. It's actually hard. So when you're not taking responsibility, you can just skip the day of work. You can do nothing. You can go watch films, go hang out with friends, and it's more fun in the moment. But you're not taking the responsibility and the business slowly dies. It's not that black and white, but that's how it functions. When I'm talking, again, I was talking to a relative, a small child, and they would ask me, who's your boss? Like, they're really like, is your boss bad? Like, why are you working all the time? Is your boss gonna punish you? And I'm like, no, I don't have a boss. I'm like, you don't have a boss? Like, how do you work that? I'm like, I am the boss. It's so funny when you're talking with kids. They're like, why are you working then? Why did you take a day off? Like, why are you being strict to you? Are you the bad boss then? It's making me laugh. It's so funny. But yes, essentially, I am the bad boss who have to force myself to take the responsibility and be serious, because there is a reason to that. So that's the insight. Yeah, if you expect people to think and be involved in the conversation, if you are on a Zoom call, be the person who sets the example. You can change their behavior. There is limit to that, but that all comes from you. And I wrote that down because sometimes I'm not satisfied with the interactions that I have. I'm not satisfied with the projects that I lead. I'm not like many things. And I see that I can change that, but for some reason I was so lazy to do that. Didn't have enough energy or something, which is stupid. I love today's insights. Insight number 2. Business owner doesn't have to know a lot of tools, even though it's beneficial. The only tool they need is people management and project management and product management, management in general, and efficient one. It's true when you are trying to build, like me, a branding agency. We provide services, and we have pretty wide range of services. So we provide creative services. This might be our flow, but it's not that we are just making apps. It's not that just we are making logos. It's not that just we are making merchandise. We can do all this stuff. And all this stuff requires different tools. It'll be Illustrator and Photoshop, and then Spline for 3D, and Blender, and Webflow, and Figma, and Framer, and maybe there are new coming up, and different sets of mockups, and you name that. Sometimes when you're not working enough with one program, that's what I saw today on my own. I haven't worked with Photoshop for a really long time. It's such a cave age tool for me, and it's awesome. I mean, but it's so boring and it's so hard. It's that it's slow. That I replaced Photoshop with other programs, and I haven't opened that for years. Today I opened that back, and I'm like, oh my god. I was working on a pro bono case, so I cannot delegate that to my team, just because I'm the one who dedicated myself to the project, and it's killing me. It's killing me. The program is slow and it's hard for me, and I'm like, it's almost I have to relearn to use that, which is sad. And I'm like, why do I have to learn that? I have to learn how to manage people who would do that far quicker for me. But so that's a pro bono case. We didn't have a budget for that, and I'm gonna finish with that anyways. Some of the, knowing a lot of stuff, being intelligent, knowing how to use a lot of AI tools, knowing how to use a lot of programs, it saves you a bunch of time, because you are not that limited in your functionality. You're not just using PowerPoint or Paint, Canva, to do your job, which limits you and limits your imagination in what is possible in the world. The more tools is like the languages really right now. I used to learn a lot of languages, and so I was in school. I was so excited to learn a new language. I would do that all the time. And I tried learning Spanish and German and Swedish and Italian and like all of those. No, I never succeeded in them, and I'm not sure if I'll ever use them in my life. Maybe Chinese or something I have to learn. But I do not see the point in learning that many languages when I know English, and most of the world know English, right? And same goes for business. If you know people management, then why do you need to know all these tools if soon enough you're not going to be working manually on anything? But I still think that the more programs you know, the more times you're a human, the more times you are the creator. And I'll keep learning the basic tools because it saves me the time. It gives me more freedom to create. But in a year or so, I should be switching again to people management. I tried that previously. I had periods when I would not design anything at all. I would not create anything at all. But I had to get back to the creation process. Insight number 3. People who become entrepreneurs hold their childhood trauma. It's easy to see what traumatized them. I saw that in one of the podcasts, something about scientific stuff. So there are people who are just normal people who are like, I'm okay with being told what to do. I'm okay to go with the job and do the thing that I like. I'm okay at working like for the state. And there are people who go out and create some weird thing and nobody understands them, and they almost like they had a reason for that. And initially I don't think that all these reasons for becoming a business owner or entrepreneur are healthy. I don't think mine are. So I have a really huge flaw which I cannot get rid of. I do not know where it comes from. I can guess, but there is no specific situation or like anything that happened to me. Any trauma, just the way I am, and I cannot fix that. I can manipulate myself into doing many things. I can refuse using a lot of things. I can change my behavior in many ways, but not this one. Still struggle with that. Giving away my con, and this can be used against me. Maybe that's going to be an incentive for me now that I shared the con to change it, to move away from it. When I hear any slightest command addressed to me, I would freak out. Literally. When anybody tells me, wear the hat because it's cold, or do this thing, or they would explain to me how to do the thing, that's even worse. If you are, like, without me asking, right, giving me a piece of advice or explaining how to do stuff in a better way, I'm gonna freak out. And that's the worst, actually, quality you can have for entrepreneurship. You have to learn, you have to observe, you have to listen a lot to other people, because they know often a lot and they can teach you a lot. Now, I behave as if I'm close to that, as if I'm close to everything new, everything that I can be taught, because I freak out, because I'm too emotional. And I don't know how to live with that. So when people on the business call would tell me, hey, you can try this mock-up in Photoshop this way. Let me tell you, so in order to do that, you have to like take the steps 1 to 3, and I'll be sitting there like I'd be super angry. I'd be like almost breaking up the camera, because maybe I have a trauma of like, I'm afraid of looking stupid. So when I'm commanded to do something, it's as if I didn't know that myself, or when I'm explained to do something without me asking, or like without any permission, it's as if I'm stupid and I don't know how to do that. And that's my main fear of looking stupid or not intelligent. And that's why there are many tools you can use. And one of the tools that is available to me, but I use it so rarely, is stupid tool. I'm a girl, and many women in business, they sometimes play stupid, as if they do not know how to do stuff, and they are getting free help, projects, many stuff, like many ways to manipulate that. And I'm actually solved the topic with business right now. But I'm never using that tool, or like behave in a silly way. Maybe with the people who like I know for really several years, for like 5 years, I can act silly, as if I'm stupid, or really be stupid. But if I don't know you for 5 years, that's not the case. I will never act stupid. I'll always seem to be smart. and because I have a problem with that. And what I was trying to say. So I never played the stupid card. Like, oh my god, really? I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to drive on the left side of the road. Officer, I'm so sorry. I never played that card. The only time I played that recently was with my friends. We were playing some card game again, and I was so. If I explain you the rules, it was called something like a traitor or saboteur. Yeah, saboteur. So I was always the saboteur, and I had to like explode the mines and get away with that, and you know, disrupt the process of the game. Definitely, not allow people to get to the goal, to the point. And when I see that I do not have any more cards to disrupt the process, like in not noticeable way, I can only like explode the mines or do some reveal my identity as a saboteur. I see that I have a card, they would turn the road back. Literally, I'm not a stupid, I know how it works. But I know that I can use that obviously. So I'm putting this card on the table and I'm putting this card backwards, as if like I'm creating a road from nowhere and it's going to the goal, and I'm saying, hey guys, did this card work here? And everybody would tell me, no, like, are you not listening to the game? Like, are you stupid? And I'm like, oh, like I saw that I can, if the road goes somewhere, then it can be connected with some card and it's gonna exist. And I saw that I could do this thing. Like, why can't I do this thing? And I started arguing, like, really in a stupid way, as if I'm so stupid. I'm just telling you the funny story. I hope it's for me it was, because I was playing so stupid. I'm like, and they're like, no, you cannot put this card on. It's not like the game is not played like that. And then I'm like, but I don't have the cards. Can I just skip my like turn? And they're like, no. I'm like, the only 3 cards I have is like it's explosions, and like they are gonna deteriorate the whole thing. And I'm like, what do I do? And I obviously know that I have to put on the card that's gonna like, you know, blow up the whole the whole process of the game. And I'll like, but still, girls did not. I had girls and guys almost an equal percentage at the table, and girls did not believe me. Obviously, they know that I'm never acting like that. I'm not that stupid. Man actually did. They did believe that I am that stupid. That I do not, completely did not understand the rules of the game, and they were like, okay, like that's a mistake, that's a fair mistake, right? So you like exploded our whole process, that's fine, you are not a saboteur, right? Like, do not get upset, little girl, because you're a girl, right? So do not cry about that, we're gonna take care of this, and you're like, you're not gonna lose. Obviously I laughed at it like afterwards, because I just played the silly card, and that was the first time in my life when I was so happy that this card is actually so powerful that you can be using them. It's I'm listening to a lot of business content, and I have a little number of subscriptions on the YouTube. For example, it's around 10, and 9 out of 10 people who I'm listening to are men who are talking about business, and they're like, this is how young men in their 20s should be living their life. And I'm following that example, that set of rules. The only woman I would listen to is maybe Layla Mosi, or like she's Shelby Academy or something, right? And so I do not know much about women's perspective. And what I hear from a lot of these man-centered podcasts and media is not all of them, but most of them perceive women to be like more stupid. Maybe we are. I don't know. Yeah, I'm so brainwashed that at the end I started to believe that stuff. But truly, I do not think we are, and I think that's the benefit of being underestimated. That's like this underdog privilege. So I'm not even I'm trying to teach myself to take being underestimated as a good thing, as a tool that I can use, as the tool of being silly, of being weak, of being anything that you can manipulate into and change in your way until you become the powerful person. So yeah, if you're listening to that, and if you are a woman, maybe you can use the card sometimes, not all the time. And the last insight, getting more interpersonal and more. I value the privacy a lot in real life. If one day I'll figure out a way to keep the benefits of a personal brand and keep the privacy that I have, I would 100% do that. But I guess this is the cost, the ultimate unsolvable equation. You cannot have the benefits of having a personal brand, repeated sales, and loyal audience that would go to the new business that you just launched and buy your stuff, right? And having social power over people. This word that I hate, influencer, but they are actually people who are affecting how others are thinking, and how it's interesting. So if we have the world of business, let's say, and we have a lot of people who are just starting out, they're new to the niche, or they are at the level that I am. I'm really new to the niche, still 1 year past new. We don't know much about it. And where do we get the knowledge? Somebody has a mentor, somebody have books, but essentially, mostly, this is social media or YouTube. And those people who are leaders in the business niche on the YouTube, they are the ones setting the agenda. So I hate the word influencer, but they are actually affecting the way, the directions, the thinking, the patterns, what these starters like me, newbies, would think or go. So you can actually affect the market a lot. And having a personal brand is actually means being essentially I said means having influence over people's mind, which you can manipulate a lot. I want to have that power. That's really beneficial stuff for all the money making process that you have. So if one day I'll figure out a way to have the repeated sales, the multiplied price on my products, and constant following, and I have the influence over mind forming process in market, that's going to be awesome. But the cost of that is privacy, and I noticed how I value privacy recently just in general in my life. Moved to the village, and I don't have much of acquaintances here, so it's easy to maintain monk mode here. Really easy, really peaceful. But sometimes when you haven't went for a run in the nature during the day, you don't have the time, and you're afraid of running in the nature at night. So you would go to the more public places for a run and stuff, and you'd see a lot of people. They would start asking you tons of questions, annoying you with how your business is doing and what are your processes, and tell us more and stuff. And that's why I'm actually keeping this YouTube. If you don't know what's happening, watch the videos. Or there are many people who are asking me, how is your monk mode going? I'm like, I have 24 videos about monk mode. You can check it out. I am so bored for some reason from these interactions that are not valuable, that are not bringing anything. And earlier on in the path of business, I wanted to tell everybody how I'm doing. I wanted to show off. I wanted to show that, hey, I founded the agency and I'm pretty cool, and I succeeded after school or something. Now maybe I lost the feeling of succeeding. I'm not as smart and capable as I thought I am, but I'm learning, and things are not happening as fast as I hoped they would, but they are happening. And now I'm showing off, telling everybody about myself and how things are going. is actually stupid. It's ego driven. I don't like that. Maybe that's the fact of a monk mode. So really now when I'm going out, I'd be like I'm not a celebrity, but I'd be like really like wearing the glasses, not this one, like black ones, and the hat, and then like closing myself with a sweater and stuff, and that's to keep the privacy. Weird thing that happened. I enjoy sometimes going out on my own to drink a coffee without a phone. That's magnificent. Or in times when I would feel super tired after work, super stressed out, I'd have to go out and spend some time on my own and not find anybody like looking at me or like starting a conversation. And that's also the benefit why I like living in the village. When I would live in the city, I would try to go out and like have some quiet time on my own, like have a walk or something. There would always be a dog's running, jumping on me, or somebody trying to get to know me, or to get acquainted, or different stuff. It's hard for me in the city to find the solitude. That's why maybe I love the village. So these are all the insights for today. Monk mode is beneficial. It teaches you a lot, and being a leader means taking the responsibility. Thank you for watching this video. You can also watch other videos from the monk mode and useful videos on business and branding here. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.